Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. Very interesting details are still emerging about the just concluded presidential elections. In 2017, we were told that an algorithm was used to rig in President Uhuru Kenyatta, in that a constant was used to place Uhuru Kenyatta constantly ahead of Raila Amolo Odinga in 2017. In 2022, there is what we call staging, in that votes were being held somewhere, doctored, and then sent to IEBC portal. So in this video, I want us to dig deep into the issue to see exactly what happened in this year's presidential elections. Before we do that, in case you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. Thank you, God bless you, God bless Kenya. Yes, I've gone through the whole petition by Raila Amolo Odinga, and very interesting details are emerging. Let's have a look at this. Further evidence of staging. 70. On 11th August 2022, 2 days after close of polling, the first respondent dumped over 11,000 forms 3A into the public portal between 11:01 hours to 11:09 hours. 71. Dumping of forms in this manner suggests that the system was designed to allow staging, which enables any person with access to the RTS to detain the forms for a while before they become visible to the public in order to make changes to them before releasing them to the intended destination. 72. Forms were staged to convert them into PDF and thereafter make such changes on them as anyone with fraudulent intent would want before being released into the public portal. Noting that results from polling stations are final, staging exposes such results to additional human intervention, which defeats the verification objective of RTS and confirms the first respondent system is not secure. 73. The foregoing is further corroborated by an email from Paul Wachanga-Mugo, the IEBC ICT support coordinator in charge of counties, in which he states that as of 11:02 a.m. of the day after the elections, there were over 7,500 Kiems kits that were yet to transmit data. Yes, that's just a bit of the evidence from Raila Odinga's petition. There are quite a lot, and we are just digging into it bit by bit. In 2017, we were told of an algorithm. In 2022, there is what we call staging, in that votes are being held somewhere, being doctored, and then being transmitted to IEBC portal. Let's dig deep, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. 1 day later after voting, 7,500 Kiems kits have not yet transmitted their results to IEBC portal. 2 days later after voting, 11,000 forms 34A are being dumped at IEBC portal. How can you explain that, ladies and gentlemen, if not rigging and doctoring of the forms? That's clearly rigging and doctoring of forms. If you look at William Ruto and Wafula Chebukati, even before the election, warning signs were all over that Ruto and Chebukati were reading from the same page. William Ruto was constantly defending Wafula Chebukati, and Wafula Chebukati's decisions were also seems to be leaning towards William Ruto. So it's clear this whole thing of raiding and doctoring of results was planned way too early. And Wafula Chebukati and IBC just did exactly as they did plan it. And if you look at the technology company itself, Smartmatic, it's a given fact that in a foreign country somewhere, the same company was accused of putting their system in a way that favored the incumbent president, or rather gave the incumbent president over 1 million votes. In 2022 elections in Kenya, it comes out clearly that Smartmatic technology was designed in a way it enabled staging, in that votes could be held somewhere, doctored or rather manipulated, and then sent to IBC portal. And I'm saying that because Githongo, the corruption chief Caesar, John Githongo also just explained that about 57 hackers gained very easy access into IBC servers. So they could tamper with the forms, they could manipulate the forms as they so wished. And I honestly believe that these 2 days before the forms were transmitted to the IBC portal, the 57 hackers, and maybe even many more, were very busy doctoring and manipulating the forms. That's something I'm seeing coming out very clearly. So it's clear that the results Chebukati announced were not the real results. Those were cooked results. And then the funny bit of it, that even with all that cooking and doctoring of results, William Ruto could still not attain 50% plus one vote. They still had to add some more votes to forcefully add in some votes to pass 50% plus one vote. So in a nutshell, you can just see how Raila Odinga was way much ahead of William Ruto in the presidential votes. If with all those, the rest was still close, it just explains that if the real votes are to be unearthed, then it's almost clear and certain Raila Odinga beat William Ruto with a very big margin. And that's something I've always been saying here. And I've been basing my argument on facts, on science. Raila Odinga beat William Ruto with a big margin. Because even with all the staging, with all the inflation of votes, still, we saw it was a close kind of a race. That only proves Raila beat William Ruto with a very big margin. And also there is a very interesting aspect of voter turnout. Though that one we'll have a look at in our next video. We are also told that the turnout was also doctored to give favorable results to William Samoei Ruto. All this just confirms and shows that this year's presidential election was a mockery of democracy. There was no presidential election in Kenya. What we saw was just a mockery of democracy. And that's why the Supreme Court of Kenya should be very firm and deal very firmly with these goons who messed up with Kenya's presidential elections. We can't afford to have an election every 5 years, elections being rigged, and then Kenyans are being told to move on. We can't afford to have such kind of election. 2022 has to be the last and the final day, or rather the final election being rigged by goons at IEBC. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude it there. But just as I did indicate when we were starting, In case you are watching us for the very first time, but so far you have not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humbled, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you, God bless Kenya. And to any other person, that's the kind of analysis we do here. We don't beat about the bush. We go straight on to the point. We call it as it is, without fear or favor. In case you have not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe. Any other person watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment. Let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. God bless you. God bless Kenya.